The Tuesday night numbers are in, and not even Scott Steiner maths could make this look good for Tony Khan. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. AEW Dynamite moving to Tuesday night. They put on a title Tuesday to try and combat NXT. Did it work? No, it did not. They lost by almost 300,000 viewers, and what a week it's been for NXT. Last week, they defeated AEW for the first time in the ratings, I believe, in almost 4 years. And this week, they defeat AEW by a landslide. By 33% more viewers, essentially.
That is an insane amount, and you know what? If you checked out the reviews, the proof was in the pudding. NXT was just a far better show, and we knew this would happen. I know they whipped out the draws, right? But it's not like Dynamite didn't try and have draws of their own. I mean, they had Edge wrestling.
Yeah, NXT might have brought the big guns, but let's be honest, over the past couple of months, the NXT viewership has been going up. And yeah, that's been partially down to people coming for Raw and being on NXT, but let's be real, there's been weeks when Raw people haven't been on NXT and they've still done good numbers, right? I think the moral of the story here is that NXT over the past few months has been doing better in the ratings, despite who they put on the show. The ratings have been going up, and as for AEW Dynamite, the ratings have just been stagnant, and if anything, they've been going down consistently, bit by bit. AEW Dynamite used to always do 1 million, 1.1, 1.2, maybe on a bad week they would fall into the 900,000 category. But if you look at Dynamite over the past 3 or 4 months, I think they've done maybe 900,000 a couple of times. Yep. Other than that, it's been 800,000. I believe Dynamite has only broke 1 million twice over the past year. Or something like that. They've barely broke 1 million.
I touched on it in
over the past year.
The Dynamite review. You had half an hour, right, of ad-free TV. And what did Dynamite do? 2 matches back to back. NXT had Cena and Cody Rhodes segments and a big, massive 3-on-3 street fight. What would you rather watch there?
Yeah, why would you do 2 matches back to back when you can take commercials during the matches? If you're going to do matches, it should have been quick and short and sweet.
Yep, but what did they do? They did like a 20-minute match and then a 10-minute match, which ended in a break.
I mean, Tony Khan just doesn't know what he's talking about. So the AEW Dynamite drew 609,000 viewers with a 0.26 in the rating. Now, I get it, the 18 to 49 demo. People will say AEW Dynamite moved to Tuesday, and that is fair enough. I accept that. But, I mean, let's be honest. If AEW Dynamite stayed on Wednesday, I would have still been beaten this week by NXT.
Yeah, easily. Make no mistake about it. I just think, I'm actually surprised though that the millions overall ain't that high. Like, I mean, if you combine the two of them, it's like 1.5 million. Like, I think that's quite low, considering what was out there.
Yeah, you've got 2 choices, 2 different companies, and they can only do 1.5 million. So, I mean, it's not great. SmackDown's consistently doing over 2 million, and it's on a worse night for wrestling.
I've seen people...
So it just goes to show that SmackDown is getting more viewers than both of these shows combined.
People have buried NXT for their rating, right? It's the highest rating they've pulled out in ages, but they're burying it because, they'd Taker, they'd Cena, blah, blah, blah. But let's not kid ourselves. See this rating NXT got? It's not even that far off the likes of Raw these days.
And let's be real, NXT, they didn't officially confirm Taker would be there. They hinted at it.
Yeah, and that's the way, you know, the way it happened. It made much more sense to do it that way. And let's be real, NXT, we can say what we want. It's developmental. It is. You can't change my opinion in that. And AEW Dynamite, it's got the stars. You know what? See if you actually book Jericho, Sting, the Hardy Boys, and other people like that actually strong. They'd get more viewers, man. Imagine tuning in seeing Sting doing what he did in WCW, battering factions with a baseball bat. I'd be fucking tuning in more.
Yeah, meanwhile, WWE NXT drew 921,000 viewers with a 0.30 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. So, I mean, just beating AEW in both viewership and the demo, because we know Meltzer is strange. When it comes to Raw and SmackDown, he would always go to the demo and claim that the demo means everything, because AEW had pretty decent demo numbers. Jericho even went through a spell where he was calling himself the Demo God. But during the battle that they had when both NXT and AEW were on Wednesday nights, when AEW was winning, they were talking about the viewership. They didn't care about the weeks when NXT beat them in the demo because they had more viewership. So it just goes to show they will spin the numbers. If they're doing better in viewership, they'll care about viewership. If they're doing better in the demo, they will care about demo. But now they're getting beat in both categories, and they've really got nothing to argue here. This is the third show. This is not even the third show. It's a development brand.
It is.
I mean, you could say ECW was the third show, and I would argue by the last couple of years, it did turn into a development brand because they were basically, it was like the new FCW where they were bringing people up, whether it be Kofi Kingston or Jack Swagger or, Jackson, Kozlov. They were putting people like that on ECW.
Back to the 0 to the 18 to 49. I'm sorry, who cares about that? See when ratings get talked about, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Sopranos, any TV show, right, or sport. When do you hear them talking about the 18 to 49?
Yeah, they don't. Meltzer argues that this is your key demo.
Your key demo's everybody.
But when you actually look at it, like the average wrestling fan is like 56. The average WWE wrestling fan is 66. That's like the median fan.
That's
and I think that's purely based on the fact that people won't get into watching wrestling these days. It's very rare you'll get new fans because the product sucks. So the majority of fans from wrestling are old fans that have just been watching it through the years, and that's why the median age of the current wrestling fan is 56 years old.
We've said this before, right? See the 18 to 49, it's misleading though, because how many 18-year-olds are the one that actually have, the TV license, the TV, the TV fucking ownership going down as them? It'll be like their parents or something.
Yeah,
it's just a load of shit.
And you tell me someone at 49 is going to buy the pay-per-view and buy merch, but someone at 50 ain't?
Yeah.
So if you're 49, you're the key viewer, you're the number one viewer, but as soon as you turn 50, you're fucked and they don't care about you anymore.
Ah, well, they get beaten both of them, so fuck them.
It's just poor, but either way, NXT, they had Cena, Taker, Cody Rhodes, Asuka, Paul Heyman. They had pretty much, they didn't go all out, but they put enough big stars on the show that you just knew it was going to trounce whatever AEW Dynamite did. And speaking of ratings, speaking of Dynamite, Adam Copeland, I said it when it first happened, I don't think people agreed, I don't think people are happy. I said that Edge isn't the draw that CM Punk is. And
nowhere near.
That's not me saying that I don't think Edge is better than CM Punk. That's not me saying I don't think Edge is a bigger legend than CM Punk. But some people just don't really have that drawing power. And Edge is just one of those guys. It's the same with Christian. I love Christian, but he's not a massive draw. Like when Christian went to TNA, the ratings didn't really change much. When Kurt Angle went to TNA, it felt like TNA was a whole different fucking company. It was like a different stratosphere.
Also with Punk, he's got the situation of leaving WWE in bad terms. You knew Punk's return, he's going to badmouth WWE. That's what Edge is.
But he's controversial. He was the number one. He was alright. Maybe he was the number 2 guy next to Cena, but he was pushed for a prolonged period as like the top guy while Cena was having like mini feuds. Edge has never had that.
Also, this is Edge. A period in his career where he's like done.
It's just
07.
It's just like when CM Punk says to Jericho, and I know they were feuding. I know it was kayfabe, but he says to Jericho, "You were never quite the guy like I'm the guy," and that just bothers you. And I mean that is true. As much as we like guys like Chris Jericho and Edge, they were guys in the main event scene, but they were never the actual top main eventers. They were always the dance partner. It's the same for Triple H. I'd argue CM Punk's a bigger draw than Triple H. Now, if Triple H went to AEW, the viewership would be bigger because he's McMahon's son-in-law. I get that. But from a pure wrestling standpoint, I would argue CM Punk's a bigger draw than Triple H.
Yeah, I think the argument goes for like most of those people, and especially for Jericho. I think Jericho was a big deal initially when it went to AEW, but man, look at Punk. Look at the amount of controversy it's caused.
Is it any surprise that the highest rated Rampage is the one that Punk debuted on, and it's not even close? It's got 400,000 more viewers than the second highest Rampage, which was the debut.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at it, I mean, you look at all these shows, it always goes down after the debut, but the second show actually went massively up, and that was purely because CM Punk. Could you imagine if CM Punk debuted it on the premiere of Rampage instead of doing what a 780,000? I think they could have done about 1.5 because the second show did 1.2.
Yeah, I mean they could have really.
If CM Punk's debut was on Dynamite, it would have been the highest rated Dynamite of all time. Easily. Not even fucking close.
Yeah,
because the guy got 400,000 extra from the week before. So you add 400,000 onto the average Dynamite back then, and it would have took Dynamite to like a 1.6, 1.7. But look, AEW had the chance with Punk. They fucking blew it. Now they're going to try and bring in ex-WWE guys. I mean, yeah, Adam Copeland's a good signing, don't get me wrong. It's someone that I would pay attention to. It's someone that would get me to watch AEW, but it's just not got that massive main star attraction. It just doesn't.
No. Like, Edge is much better than Roman Reigns, but imagine if Reigns lost these belts and went to AEW. It'd be fucking way bigger than Edge.
It is what it is.
I mean, it'd be, Reigns, in terms of like the initial impact, be up there with Punk. I mean, obviously he doesn't have that like diehard Chicago fan base and the whole controversy, but he's been WWE's top man for a few years.
He has been. Let's talk about the main event. So NXT was main evented by Carmelo Hayes with John Cena versus Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. And then you top this off with The Undertaker making an appearance after the match.
Yep, he battered Braun Breaker. It was great.
What did AEW have in comparison to this?
Well, the main event in AEW was Edge against Luchasaurus.
What's better?
Exactly.
And who came out after the Edge Luchasaurus match?
A bunch of jobbers. So Daniel Bryan, Juice Robinson, I believe the Blackpool Combat Club came out. I think it just should have ended with Edge winning. Didn't need anyone else.
AEW's dying. Look at the attendances. Look at the state. The arenas are fucking half empty. He lied about the whole attendance in London. I mean, I think he I don't know if he bought the tickets. All the tickets were paid for. He gave the paid for attendance. So I'm not sure if the tickets were all the available tickets were just purchased.
He said after last night's show that Shawn Michaels is not going to win the Top Book of the Year now award.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that. That's a separate video. Anyway, guys, that's it. NXT has dismantled AEW. 300,000. Absolutely whooped it. And you know what? 300,000 might not seem that much, but when you're playing under $1 million, 300,000 is a lot. We're talking a third here. 33%.
It's an insane amount.
So yeah, AEW barely got over 600,000. NXT done 921. And I think even now when AEW goes back to Wednesdays, I think we're going to see NXT not beat it every week, but I think we're going to see NXT and AEW going head to head.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to NXT's
getting better. AEW's on NXT's on the incline and AEW's on the decline. So
absolutely. So until then, guys, that's us done with these ratings, and peace.